Every so often, internal party frictions surface in ways that demand attention, especially when a senior Republican draws a firm line against one of President Trump's top nominees. Today, we're examining a Senate confirmation hearing that produced exactly that, a direct, unflinching critique from a GOP voice that cut through the room. Hello, I'm your host for Keen Reports. If you're new here, subscribe now for in-depth analysis on the key divisions and decisions shaping Washington. We'll start with the context from the Armed Services Committee hearing this week on Pete Hegseth, Trump's nominee for Secretary of Defense. Hegseth, a former Fox News host and Army veteran, has faced tough questions over his limited senior leadership experience in the Pentagon or major commands, alongside reports of past personal controversies. Enter Senator Thom Tillis, a Republican from North Carolina, with his own military family background and deep committee tenure. Tillis didn't pull punches, pressing Hegseth on readiness for the role amid global threats from China and Russia. Here's how it unfolded. Tillis laid out the stakes plainly. I've reviewed hundreds of resumes for general officers and flag officers over the years. I've sat in rooms where we've interviewed them. I understand what it takes to run a division and what it takes to be Secretary of Defense. He then zeroed in on Hegseth's record. You're a private sector leader of media organizations, and you're a combat veteran, but you've never led soldiers at a brigade level or higher, never managed a large-scale defense operation. Hegseth pushed back, citing his deployments and advisory roles, but Tillis held ground. With all due respect, that's not the same as commanding forces or overseeing the $800 billion defense budget. Tillis escalated analytically, invoking real-world risks. If you're confirmed, you'll face immediate crises. Think Taiwan Strait tensions or Ukraine aid logistics. Experience gaps there aren't abstract. They cost lives and deterrence. He contrasted Hegseth with predecessors like Jim Mattis or Lloyd Austin, who brought decades of joint command time. The exchange peaked when Tillis delivered the line that's now echoing across Capitol Hill. I like you, Pete. But qualification isn't about friendship. It's about proven capacity under fire. America deserves more than on-the-job training at the top. That moment landed hard, underscoring broader GOP concerns. Hegseth's hearing has exposed splits. While loyalists like Senators Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham vouched for his outsider energy, moderates like Tillis and whispers from Susan Collins highlight resume worries. Background checks revealed Hegseth's 2017 divorce settlement with non-disclosure terms, tattoo-related extremism claims he denies, and reports from his Fox tenure of workplace issues, all fueling Democrats' opposition, but now testing Republican unity. For a sharper edge, consider Senator Rand Paul's parallel grilling earlier in the week during a related foreign policy session. Paul challenged Hegseth on interventionist leanings. You've advocated strikes in Iran and regime change abroad. As defense chief, would you commit to no new wars without Congress? Hegseth affirmed constitutional limits, but Paul pressed, words are easy. History shows promises fade. We've seen undeclared actions drain trillions. No evasion worked. Paul's restraint argument exposed potential overreach. These aren't isolated barbs. They reflect a Senate math problem. Trump needs 51 votes, but with narrow GOP margins, even one or two defections could stall. Tillis, up for re-election in a swing state, risks primary heat. Yet his delivery was measured, fact-based. No ad hominem, just operational logic drawn from years reviewing promotions. In closing, this hearing signals more than personnel drama. It tests whether Trump's velocity in appointments prioritizes loyalty over expertise, potentially eroding Senate buy-in on defense priorities. Watch the full clips. They're worth your time. Stay informed, like, subscribe, and hit notifications for Keen Reports. We'll track how this nomination evolves amid rising Indo-Pacific pressures. Thanks for watching.